Every few years, the world pauses for a moment, not for war or scandal, but for heartbreak, vulnerability, and a soaring voice that seems to reach inside the collective human spirit and give it language. That voice belongs to Adele. With her towering ballads, stripped-down performances, and complete emotional honesty, Adele does something few artists manage. She sings not to distract us from our pain, but to help us sit inside it, breathe through it, and emerge more human on the other side. In a world that prizes control, productivity, and forward motion, Adele's music invites us to stop, feel, and break. But what makes Adele's artistry so universally moving isn't just her vocal ability or the clarity of her songwriting. It's the philosophical stance her work takes. Adele is, in many ways, an artist of the absurd, a concept made famous by Albert Camus. Her music speaks to the contradiction between our deep, emotional hunger for meaning, control, and permanence, and the reality of a life filled with loss, change, and unanswered questions. Adele does not offer cosmic answers or spiritual certainty. She sings through the silence of the universe. She takes the boulder up the mountain, knowing it will roll back down, and sings anyway. Modern life conditions us to believe in the illusion of control. From a young age, we're told that if we just try hard enough, if we check all the boxes, chase all the goals, we'll arrive at a life of peace and clarity. But real life doesn't work like that. Relationships fall apart, loved ones die, success feels hollow, plans collapse, and feelings come uninvited. Adele's music lives in that space between what we hoped would be and what is. Her breakthrough album, 21, for instance, isn't about moving on quickly or turning pain into triumph. It's about staying in the wreckage long enough to feel it. Songs like Someone Like You don't tie heartbreak up in a neat resolution. They let it bleed. The chorus doesn't soar with hope, but with acceptance. There's no promise that things will get better, only the quiet dignity of living through them. This mirrors Camus's concept of the absurd, the conflict between our desire for clarity and the universe's refusal to grant it. Adele doesn't try to make sense of pain. She gives it sound. She doesn't pretend there's a master plan. Her art exists as a rebellion against the very need for one. In a world that constantly asks us to move on, Adele dares to stay. Much of our anxiety comes from clinging to the illusion that we are supposed to have everything together. That control, logic, and endless planning will protect us from uncertainty. That our emotional messiness is a failure, but Adele's career is one long counterpoint to that logic. Her most beloved works are born out of disorder. She disappears for years, re-emerges changed, divorced, heavier, lighter, wounded, healed, and lets her art reflect that. She does not pretend to have mastered life. She confesses she hasn't. When she released 30, Adele spoke openly about the collapse of her marriage, not with shame, but with clarity. It was not a confession of failure, but a record of transformation. She offered songs like My Little Love, with voice memos to her son woven into the melody, where she admits, "I don't really know what I'm doing." This is not the voice of a woman pretending to have found answers. This is the voice of someone at peace with uncertainty. That honesty is rare in celebrity culture, where image control is everything. Adele's willingness to unravel publicly without trying to spin it into triumph is a kind of philosophical rebellion. Like Camus's Sisyphus, she accepts her task, the emotional weight of life, and carries it with grace. The gods do not win. She sings, and by singing, she chooses to live. The story of Sisyphus, as Camus framed it, is the story of every person trying to find meaning in a world that refuses to offer it. Sisyphus is condemned to push a boulder up a hill, only to watch it roll back down for eternity. On the surface, it is a tale of futility, but Camus flips it. He imagines Sisyphus happy, not because the task has meaning, but because Sisyphus chooses it. In that choice, he becomes free. Adele, too, chooses to sing, knowing the world will break her again. She sings about love, knowing it will end. She sings about herself, knowing she will change. Each album is a return to the base of the mountain. Each tour, another push of the boulder. But she doesn't do it for perfection or even redemption. She does it because she must, because singing is how she survives. And when we listen, when we hear our own heartbreaks in hers, we are reminded that we are not alone in our struggles, that maybe the boulder doesn't crush us if we choose to carry it together. Adele offers no salvation, but she does offer solidarity. That, too, is a form of happiness. Adele's career embodies this shift. Why not vanish from the spotlight for 6 years to raise a child and lose yourself? Why not write a song about a voice note you left your kid? Why not stand on stage and cry? Why not choose vulnerability when the world demands polish? Adele isn't just a singer, she's an answer to the existential question, what do we do when nothing is certain? We create, we feel, we give voice to our wounds. We make art not to fix the world, but to honor the fact that we lived in it, messily. In the absence of divine scripts or cosmic guarantees, Adele offers a different kind of hope, the kind rooted in presence. Her music reminds us that even if the universe is silent, we can still sing. Even if the story has no predetermined ending, we can still write a verse that matters. That even if nothing lasts, what we feel is real, and that's enough. This is perhaps the deepest takeaway from both philosophical frameworks, the absurdism of Camus and the critique of control, that the only true freedom is the freedom to feel, to fail, to begin again. That we are most alive not when we have all the answers, but when we stop needing them. Adele's gift is not just musical, it's existential. She shows us how to live without guarantees, how to weep without shame, how to start over without needing to know where we're going. She reminds us that the boulder will roll back down and that we can sing anyway. In a culture obsessed with optimization, certainty, and clean resolutions, Adele dares to be raw, unfinished, and real. She is Sisyphus in a ball gown, standing at the base of another mountain, microphone in hand, asking the only question that matters. Why not? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.